Maharashtra government has imposed a lockdown. One major responsibility that falls on the shoulders is on the Mumbai police officers who have to be on the streets trying to ensure that all the restrictions are followed by the citizens of Mumbai. Joining me on this special broadcast is the Mumbai Police Commissioner, Mr. Hemant Nagrale. Mr. Nagrale, thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV. Let me straight away begin by asking you, 7 days since the Maharashtra government had essentially imposed curfew-like restriction, what has the response been like? Because there's a huge responsibility on the shoulders of Mumbai police.
Thank you for inviting me. And at the outset, I must say that for the benefit of people of Maharashtra, Government of Maharashtra has imposed the lockdown restrictions on the citizens and allowed only the essential services till 1st of May. We as a law enforcement agency, the entire police department is working for the enforcement of lockdown because there are so many services which have not been allowed. There are essential services which have been allowed who can ply on the streets, but at the same time, most of the people are advised by the government to stay at home to stop the spread of coronavirus. And yes, our officers have been interested with the job and we are doing our duty on the streets. All our officers and men, they are on the job.
Well, Mr. Nagrale, I would also like to then ask you, are you finding the situation a little out of control or difficult to handle, or are citizens obeying the restrictions that have been imposed?
There is nothing like situation is out of control or in any way. I must appreciate that citizens of Mumbai city are really respecting the government directives, the government suggestion. They are obeying with the rules. But at the same time, as you know, that some aberrations will be definitely there. To make this lockdown more effective and to allow only limited number of vehicles entry into the city, as you know, Mumbai city has 3 main entry. Number 1, from New Bombay to Mumbai city. Number 2, from Thane city to Mumbai city. And number 3, from Dahisar, Cheknaka to Mumbai city. On all these 3 locations and at various locations in the streets of Mumbai, we have deployed our police personnel and police strength, and we are really checking the vehicles and to cover and see that no unauthorized vehicles which don't belong to essential services are plying on the roads. As you are aware that we have devised a 3-color code system, that is red, green and yellow. These 3-color code system stickers are to be fixed on the vehicles which are from the respective essential services. Like red is for all the medical services from doctors to patient, right, and all the medical supplies. Green, can I elaborate? Green is for all food items, bakery product, dairy products, and all those transport vehicles carrying food articles, and also to the home delivery systems like Zomato and Swiggy. And last is the yellow category, which covers all other essential services and which includes architects, contractors, advocates, apart from your regular essential services of telephone, BEST and other BMC officials and other people. So this we are finding that people are accepting this color code system and they are abiding by it.
Well, in fact, Mr. Nagrale, I would also like to ask you this question because we saw images of you outside on the street trying to interact with your forces to ensure that this is a successful curfew in order to bring down the number of cases. Let me then ask you, it's been about 7 days. What has been the biggest challenge that the Mumbai police is facing at this point in time?
The biggest challenge that we as a Mumbai police we are facing is to keep our men secured and non-infected. See, ever since the calamity started, that is way back in March, April 2020, since then till today, we had got total 8,300 infections. Though out of this, a very good rate of recovery percentage of 87% is there. That is a very good outstanding rate. But at the same time, in the process, in the last 1 year, till today, we have lost our 103 officers and men. So that is a big loss for us. And our main aim now, while we are doing the services for the benefit of people and for enforcing the lockdown guidelines, our main stress is to keep our men safe first. Because if our men start getting infected more in numbers, then that will mean it is leading to some other serious problems which we will face if more and more men get infected.
Mr. Nagrale, I was about to come to this entire point because what we saw even last year, the first wave of the pandemic, Mumbai police was out on the streets, and we salute all the Mumbai police officers who've been out in the street ensuring that every rule is essentially followed. But what is it that you would like to tell the family members of these police personnel? Because they are not only taking a risk for their own life, but also the risk of their family members. So is there anything that you would like to tell the family members of these police personnel who are out on the streets?
Definitely. It's my appeal to all the family members of our policemen and families that all the police officers, all the men, they are doing a wonderful job of serving the society at the risk of their own life, and just for the safety of citizens of Mumbai, they are doing this job. Please, whenever your family member, that is police officer or constable, he is back with you, take care of him, observe all the precautions, whatever the precautions we have been advertising, we have been telling. When they come back from their duties, they must take a shower and must put all the clothes for wash, and then only they should interact with their families closely. At the same time, all the family members of our policemen and officers, it is my appeal to them that unless it is important, that they should not step out of their homes. They should stay inside, stay safe, so that the officers and men who are on the street, who are on the job, they should not have additional worry about caring for their own family members, because if they get infected, then again our police officer, our men, they will have their focus on their family member, and we will be losing one good officer or a policeman who will not be able to fully 100% put his heart into the work. So I request all my police officers, all my men, to take care of their health and their families.
Mr. Nagrale, I would also like to ask you a more specific question, because I do interact with your officers, and this has been a growing concern because this second wave of the pandemic is lethal, and there is a high possibility that your officers may also they may also test positive with the kind of interaction that they are having at this point in time. So in the case of any of your officers who test positive, will the Mumbai police bear the cost of treatment of all the officers and all the constabulary?
Yes, Mumbai and state government of Maharashtra bears all the cost of the treatment. And I must tell you that we have few dispensaries and hospitals like in Nagpada, then Naigaon. We have our own hospitals where we treat the primitive patients of COVID and other illnesses. But from today morning, I am happy to say that from today morning, we have started a full-fledged admission center of preliminary stages COVID infection at Kole Kalyan, that is at Wakola, where we will be having facility of 250 beds, which will be utilized purely for police personnel and also maybe partly by BMC employees also. So many people, including BMC and other departments, they have been very helpful in setting up this unit at Kole Kalyan. So that will be basically acting as a primary admission center for our police officers and police personnel. And if the situation of the patients there, it deteriorates further, then we will have to shift them to some bigger care center of a secondary nature.
Mr. Nagrale, I do understand that just before these curfew-like restrictions were basically imposed, you've had an opportunity to speak to your men in the force, and you've also instructed that there should be a human face that the police force should keep up. What is the instruction that you have given, like whether at all the Mumbai police will come to the rescue of people who are in dire need of any sort of hospitalization or any sort of help, perhaps anyone essentially requires? Will the nearest police station essentially act as more as a facilitation hub between the BMC and the people of Mumbai? Any of such plan that is being worked out by your office?
At present, we are basically having the facility specially dedicated for our police officers and personnel. We are having regional coordinating officer for Corona who will be approachable by all the officers and men who are staying or working in that region and who have symptoms of Corona. Then we also have a central office, CP office coordinating officer, who will keep all the records of all the infected cases and their requirements. So at present, we are having this facility for our police personnel. Apart from that, all our officers, senior officers, including me, we have been getting requests from our friends, our batchmates, our colleague officers about admission or about oxygen cylinders, about the ICU beds, ventilators. All sorts of requests keep coming, and those we are directing to the respective area officers, and in all the possible ways we try to help such emergency cases, and we can try to be of help. But basically for general public, anything related to Corona and its treatment for general public, it has to be catered by BMC. And I think they are doing their great job by
one final question before
doing that.
One final question, Mr. Nagrale, before I let you go. I do know that you are very busy keeping up all the preparations and the arrangements that have essentially been done by the Mumbai police. But I would also like you to take this opportunity to communicate with the people of Mumbai. What is it that you would like to tell the people of Mumbai? What is it that the Mumbai police at this point in time wants the citizens of Mumbai to do?
I will appeal to all the citizens of Mumbai that please observe the guidelines decided by the government of Maharashtra, and please obey all the instructions which are passed on from time to time by either police department or BMC department. As you are all aware, from today morning, just today only, new guideline has come up, and it must have reached all of you now. Earlier, the shops, whether it is essential services shops or other fruit stall or vegetable stalls, and all this, they were open for from morning 7 to evening 8, but now from today's guidelines, these shops will be opened, mostly the food items and other items. These shops will be open from morning 7 to 11 o'clock. So all the citizens must observe this change in timings from today only, and they should abide as per this timing, and whatever the grocery items, the vegetables, fruits, milk product, dairy product, whatever they want to buy, they have to buy it between 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Please abide by the rules. Please wear mask whenever you are going out of your house for any essential services, and please wash your hands regularly. You remain safe and we will keep you safe. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mumbai Police Commissioner Mr. Hemant Nagrale, for speaking to Republic Media Network and also interacting with the people of Mumbai through Republic Media Network. Once again, an appeal has now been made by the top officer of Mumbai that all of you stay indoor, stay safe, mask up.